Welcome to Section 420, Talkin Yankees, the podcast. Well, the Yankees up to their eyeballs in Reds lately. Again, a 4-game setup in Fenway. Last weekend, dropping the final 2 games in heartbreak fashion is because they blew some leads there. Then you have the Cincinnati Reds come to town, and they kind of shock everyone by taking 2 out of 3 against the Yankees. And the Yankees now back in, a bit on their heels a little bit. A couple of tough losses. Really almost got swept by the Cincinnati Reds. But nevertheless, Red Sox come to town, try to pick up on the momentum. They got there from Fenway, and you kind of think, the Red Sox are going to turn the season around, and the Yankees are going to start to nosedive a little bit as both are going to crawl back. But luckily for New York Yankees this weekend, they come out in big fashion. The offense explodes finally. I guess, maybe some pent-up frustration from the week. Take 2 out of 3 from the Red Sox. Literally break Chris Sale's pinky finger, not on purpose, of course, unless he had a gambling debt, but we don't know about that. But nevertheless, Yankees kind of wake up a little bit from the little stupor they've been in lately, and we'll get into that as well as preview just the All-Star game and heading into the All-Star break. But before you do, if you haven't done it already, make sure you subscribe to this podcast, so wherever you are, I'm sure there's a subscribe button. Hit that and get notified when new episodes come up throughout the rest of the season. Again, you might catch me on YouTube. Maybe you see me on TV if you're somewhere in New York, depending where you are. But if you want to get these exclusive little inserts, you have to subscribe to the audio podcast. So make sure you do that so you can get my voice into your beautiful ears. So, as mentioned before, the Yankees kind of a little stumbling this week. I don't say not a situation where you hit the panic button, nothing too crazy there. And of course, Severino, you have to be worried about the injury. To take himself out of that second Cincinnati game there, and he's going to be shut down for a while. Against that a little bit afterwards. But the Yankees kind of lose 2 heartbreaking games, at Fenway Park, especially that 3rd game there. Then Cincinnati comes to town, as I mentioned before, takes 2 out of 3, gifts you that 2nd game. Now, I understand it's baseball, and on any given day in some random week in the middle of July, a team could beat any other team. I get that, and especially look what the Orioles doing right now with that long win streak they put together there, kind of resurrecting their season a little bit, making a little bit of noise in the ALEs. Not that they're ever going to make any, threat to be a wild card team or anything like that, but at least to, have some dignity to the season. So again, any team like the Reds also could do somewhat similar to the Yankees. It's just, a bit of this to come to the fact that a bunch of these games in a row where the Yankees losing some extra inning games, and kind of the Yankees are right there. They're not getting beat up, but they're just right there, but just can't get that big hit. And, what we're used to with this Yankee team the whole season of just, whether it's an exciting comeback or just, whether it's in the bottom of the frame, having a walk. I mean, the Yankees have had a lot of walk-off wins this season, just getting that big hit at the right time. And it just seems like lately the Yankees have been right there at the edge and just, couldn't get that big hit, and that's why they've been losing some of these games. But nevertheless, again, as I mentioned, the Yankee offense will wake up. But first, let's get into that first game there. And got to salute the Yankee crowd there. For the first game there, I had a little over 47,000 people. So, of course, summer baseball, it's Yankee Red Sox. And it's good to see everyone back in the ballpark. I know we kind of been back from COVID for a while and got this new variant going around. But it's just good to see a big crowd there again. And, just remember 2 years ago, they were playing in empty ballparks. And so the entire weekend, again, good fan turnout. So starting off for the Yankees was Montgomery versus the former Yankee Nathan Eovaldi. And Montgomery, unfortunately, fell behind early. A 2-run home run to Rafael Devers. So not only did he dominate Cole, pretty much dominates all Yankee pitching. I'll get to that later as well. I don't know why they didn't bother pitching this guy. But nevertheless, takes Monty deep to right field. So puts a 2-run spot there. But nevertheless, the Yankees answer right back in the 3rd inning. Giancarlo Stanton. I guess, what Devers does to the Yankees, Stanton does to the Red Sox. I mean, Devers eats up Yankee pitching. Well, Stanton does that to the Red Sox pitching and had 2 runners on. 3-run home run, right field, puts the Yankees up then at this point, 3-2. And Eovaldi wouldn't last much of this game, get lifted a little bit after the 4th inning. And the Yankees kind of Jekyll and Hyde a little bit with Eovaldi. Sometimes they beat him up with him, but sometimes they can't touch him for 7th inning. But nevertheless, this was one of the starts where they were able to beat him up a little bit, taking a 3-2 lead. Now, unfortunately, Monty wasn't able to hold that, giving up a home run to Christian Vasquez in the 4th, ties the game at 3-3. And then from there, it was going to be a battle of the bullpens. Again, Montgomery, not terrible, not great. Kind of, kept the Yankees at bay. Similar to the 3rd game up in Fenway's there. Well, I think he only gave up 2 runs there also. So more or less the same thing here with Montgomery. But unfortunately, the Yankees would fall behind thanks to Chapman, who, again, no longer closer, in the 7th inning against Bobby Dahlbeck, who himself was kind of in a 0-for-15 kind of little slide there. For Chapman, that wasn't a terrible pitch. It was kind of a low fastball right off the ground, and kind of Dahlbeck kind of golfed it. So it was a good piece of hitting, but unfortunately for the Yankees, went over the left field wall. Yankees at that point now falling behind 4-3. But the Yankees will come back in the 9th, have an opportunity to not only tie the game, but go ahead. Now, early on, as the Yankees were trying to put a rally together, Matt Carpenter was up, and Aaron Boone was unhappy with a couple of low pitches. Again, we've seen Boone blow up at umpires when they call low strikes on Aaron Judge. Well, this time Matt Carpenter got a low strike call on him. Boone came out, did his usual routine, throws a piece of gum and all that, gets kicked out. So a little fireworks there, maybe trying to fire up the team, and perhaps it worked there. So a couple of runners on there, and kind of Falefa. It wasn't really a bunt to move the runners over. It could have been, seemed like one of those bunts like he was actually trying to bunt for a hit to try to surprise everyone. So the Boston pitcher, Hawk, fielded the ball. Now he was going to try to throw Gleyber out at third base. Throws the ball, bad throw. The ball gets by the third baseman. Torres is able to score easily on the throwing error. And at the point now, the game is tied 4-4. And now you have a couple runners on there where the Yankees have an opportunity to win the game in walk-off fashion. It would be a great way to sort of cap off, the opening game there. Unfortunately, Trevino grounds out into a double play. And then with DJ LeMahieu up, he also grounds out. And then so now we have to go into extra innings. Again, Yankee had an opportunity right then and there to win the game. Unfortunately, doesn't do it. Now, Clay Holmes, with the ghost runner on, has a couple of runners get on there. Actually ends up with a bases loaded situation, 2 out, with the danger Xander Bogaerts up. But Clay Holmes actually able to punch him out, dramatically with the bags juiced. So the Yankees then go into the bottom of the 10th with, yet again, they have an opportunity with the bases loaded. Gleyber Torres up. Opportunity again to win the game. All you need is a sacrifice fly or maybe a wild pitch or anything. But unfortunately, Gleyber hits the ball hard on the ground. Boston's able to turn 2 there. And Yankees blow the opportunity, get a bases loaded opportunity. And now they have to go into the 11th inning. I mentioned before, Bogaerts was punched out in the 10th. So now he becomes the ghost runner for the 11th inning. This time now Michael King's on the mound. Again, Holmes did his job. Now King's out there. So Verdugo was able to sack fly Bogaerts to third base. So you have 1 out. Unfortunately, King with 2 outs bounces a ball there towards home plate. Trevino's not able to field it cleanly, and then Bogaerts able to score there on the wild pitch, and then Boston takes the lead there 5-4, and that would end up being the final score there. And there was one opportunity again in the bottom of the 11th. I mean, the Yankees have their opportunity as a ghost runner. You have Gleyber Torres there on second base. All the Yankees really need is a single, but with 2 outs, again Ryan Brazier on the mound for the Red Sox. Hicks put a good bat on there, but with a full count, ended up check swinging on what should have been ball 4, but it was a check swing, went around just a little bit too much. Now, Hicks thought he got the walk, so he started to trot to first base, but the third base umpire punched him out, put the fist up that the bat went too far across the plate there. It was really a borderline call. Could have gone either way, but probably you see the top of the bat there on the replay, which means if you see the top of the bat on the check swing there, usually means he went across, and of course 99 out of 100 umpires are going to punch him out there, and he did. So again, the Yankees just needed to hit there, couldn't get it, and again lose that first game 5-4 now. And again, let's see, looking at the situation now, the Yankees had 3 extra inning games in a row, losing 2 out of 3 of them, and you kind of get wondering, is Boston now, and also now Boston winning their 3rd game in a row against the New York Yankees, and kind of wondering now, is the tide turning a little bit here? What's going on? Is this going to be part of a Boston surge? You kind of maybe getting some bad flashbacks of 2004, just, even though that was, the Yankees up 3-0 in that championship series and then lose the next 4 games. This kind of bad feelings come to you, but finally the Yankees put the hammer down. So second game was going to be a rematch of the Sunday night game at Fenway. So it was Jameson Taillon versus Nick Pivetta. Now the Yankees always beat up Pivetta. They beat him up last week. They pretty much always beat him up. So you figure the Yankees were going to score some runs. So this game was going to be about Taillon, really putting in a strong start, and he did. It was a really important start for Taillon. Last time he had a 6-2 lead, ends up blowing that and exiting the game with a 6-6 tie. So Taillon really needs to come through here, and he's been scuffling a little bit last few starts. Again, overall having a fabulous season. 9 wins going in, ERA a little bit over 4, but he had been scuffling a little bit, and he needed to have a good start, and he did. Now Taillon didn't fall behind early, and it was that guy again who I keep mentioning, Rafael Devers. Don't know why would they pitch this guy. Hits a home run in the first inning. Boston goes up early 1-0, but then the Yankee offense got to work and just pretty much blew them out the rest of the way, really the rest of the weekend. But I'll get into the specifics of that. So the Yankees answer right back in the bottom of the first. Bases loaded with Josh Donaldson up. It's a little dribbler to third base. Bogaerts really didn't have a play on it, because the ball is chopped too slowly. So instead of going for the double play or the force at home, just throws out Donaldson at first. But then again, the Yankees are able to score this since they have the bases loaded. And with now 2 runners on, Matt Carpenter up, it's a 3-run home run, puts the Yankees up 4-1. And this, important game for Tyone, but this was also the Matt Carpenter game, if you want to call it that. And he just seems to have this game where he hits home runs in bunches and gets a bunch of RBIs in this one game. And again, just having this magical season for the Yankees is picking him up out of nowhere. So the Yankees up 4-1, and Aaron Judge, who's been slumping a little bit lately. Again, you've been hearing some that he has some lower body fatigue and some lower body injuries. Again, it's probably from all the center field that he's been playing, which I've been mentioning that he shouldn't be doing, but nevertheless. Been a little, a little sluggish with the bat lately, but he gets into the party there, hits a home run, solo shot, his first of the game. He'll hit another one later on. Also now in the fifth inning, after hitting a 2-run home run in the first inning, Matt Carpenter has a couple of runners on, hits another 3-run home run, so 2 3-run home runs for Matt Carpenter, and then in the sixth inning, Judge hits his second home run of the game. So you have both Matt Carpenter and Aaron Judge, both with 2 home runs in this game. But the Matt Carpenter one both times with 2 runners on. And for overall for Carpenter, 2 for 4 in the game, 7 RBIs total. Now, he would get another RBI opportunity in the 8th inning with the bases loaded. Again, it would be nice to see a hit or perhaps a grand slam, but kind of has a boring walk there with bases loaded. But nevertheless, he'll take it. So that became his 7th RBI for the season. And the Yankees just kept tacking on and ultimately would put the game away at 14-1, so that's 2 touchdowns. But as good as Carpenter hitting there, but again, you wanted to see Tyone having that good start and gives the Yankees 6 innings. And again, after the Devers home run, retired the next 17 in a row and really was cruising the rest of the way. That was the only earned run he gave up. 5 strikeouts, 6 innings. Again, exactly what Tyone needed, especially heading into the break there a little bit. He's going to probably have a couple of extra days off there, just so you have a positive reflection there. And now the Yankees had tied up the series at 2-2, which left for the Sunday finale. And now this was going to be interesting because, you feel good. You like every time Garrett Cole's on the mound for the Yankees, but this was going to be the return of Chris Sale, who's, again, battling back from injury. Had Tommy John, was out from Tommy John last year, kind of delayed his start of this season with a rib injury. Finally on the mound for the Red Sox, making his debut against the New York Yankees. I'm not sure if I would have picked that as the game you want to bring him back to, but nevertheless they did. And again, last time we heard from Sale, he was down in the minors, and after a bad start, kind of busted up the clubhouse entrance there in the tunnel. And supposedly Sale has this this reputation of doing stuff like that. When he was back with the White Sox, I think after a bad start, he took a pair of scissors and cut up his uniform. So a little wacky like that. But again, he was going to be on the mound for the Yankees. And only difference between this game and probably some of the other Boston games recently is that Rafael Devers didn't take Cole or any other Yankee pitching deep. And actually Cole punched out Devers in the top of the first inning, actually punched out 2 Red Sox hitters there. So just a good start for Cole. And the Yankee offense got to work in the bottom of the first against Sale. DJ LeMay led off the fun with a double. Next batter up, Judge, actually hit by a pitch, so Sale a little wild there. I don't think he's looking to hit Judge on purpose there and put runners on in a 0-0 game like that. Now Anthony Rizzo able to move them over on a ground out to second and third, and then the Yankee offense was able to get it going on a Torres grounded at third to Rafael Devers. Now Devers tried to throw the ball to second, tried to get the force out. It was a bad throw, so Torres was actually safe at second, and DJ was able to score there from third base, and of course Judge was able to move over to third base. And then after that, Matt Carpenter, again, he's been hitting home runs lately, and it's just interesting that Boone put him there in the starting lineup. Again, just because Sale's a tough lefty, but, if you look at Carpenter's numbers, he's just as good against lefty, maybe a little better average-wise than righties. Plus, he's hot as a pistol, hitting the 2 home runs the game before. It's a little easy grounded to shortstop, but it's just soft enough for Judge to easily run and score from third. So now the Yankees are up at this point 2-0 with Aaron Hicks at the plate, and this was probably the play of the game. Not good for Red Sox, but just probably the turning point where the Yankees were able to just take the game moving forward from here. So with 2 runners on, Hicks hits a ball line shot right up the middle, a little towards the first base side there. Now Sale, the lefty, after he uncorked the pitch, he kind of had his arm still lingering out after the ball, delivering the ball there, and the line drive went right up the middle, hit right off Sale's hand, actually hit off his pinky, and you could even hear it on the television. But it was such a hard shot that even after it hit off his hand, it still lined into right field, and the Yankees were able to score another run there. But the big part of that play is that Sale immediately put his hand up. You saw he had a broken pinky. He almost laughed it off a little bit, but up to that point, just walked off the mound. Obviously, just done for the game. And I don't know how long he's going to be out for. I mean, just terrible for him. Again, a long road back, rehabbing after the Tommy John and the rib injury. Now this. I'm not saying he's going to be done for the year, possibly. I mean, because when you pitch, you're kind of more using your index finger and your middle finger and your thumb, but still, it's got to be a little painful there holding a baseball. You're doing that with a broken finger, so you got to expect he's going to be out now for a while, a little bit. And I don't know, maybe he's done for the year. Who knows? Probably not for the year, but he's just going to miss some time. It just because it just seems difficult to, even if you don't use the pinky, just gripping the ball there, you're still sliding your pinky against it sometimes. It's got to be painful. So again, a bad break for Sale and bad break for the Red Sox. And if they wanted any hope of making a surge this season or maybe taking a shot for the wild card, you would definitely need a healthy and viable Chris Sale. And this seems like that's just not going to be the case for the season. The Red Sox, only a couple of games above 500. They might just be a sinking ship at this point. But we'll see what happens there. But nevertheless, the game went on, and the Yankees would go on for this. Now, Boston made a little bit interesting tad in the third. Again, the Yankees were up 3-0, and with Sale coming out of the game, Saramora had to come in relief, able to get out of that jam, and Boston able to put up 2 runs of their own, thanks to Jeter Downs, a 2-run home run against Garrett Cole, and that was really the only blemish for Cole in this game. Pulled the game within 3-2, and you kind of watch this game thinking, oh, come on. You know, you knock Sale out of the game. You got Cole on the mound. We can't be losing this game. We can't let them come back. But Cole buckled down from there, and from there on, it was the Yankee offense. And in the fourth inning there, putting up an 8 spot to really just blow them away there. Really the big blow there with the bases loaded was, again, Matt Carpenter. Now, no home runs, unfortunately, but just as good, just as valuable. Pulling against a lefty, line drive to right field. Was able to score 2 there. Again, this was the bases loaded, putting the Yankees up at that point. 7-2. And Tim Locastro back in the Yankee clubhouse there. Again, he's been out for a while for an injury. We know him more for his speed and his defense, but hits a 2-run home run of his own to left center field there. It was actually a pretty impressive shot there for like the little guy. And at the point took a 11-2 lead. And our friend Joey Gallo, who didn't start the game, came in later for a defensive switch because they wanted to move around LaCastro a little bit, and so they put Gallo in right field. Got a chance at a couple of bats, and in the 7th inning with DJ LeMahieu on, hit a 2-run bomb of his own. It was actually an impressive shot to right field. Actually went into the first row there of the second deck, so a really nice shot for him. It's good to see him at least get into one there. Increase the Yankee lead to 13-2, and that would be your final score. Again, Cole going 7 innings for the Yankees, 12 strikeouts, and increasing his record now to 9-2. And just good to see that, him and his former Pittsburgh Pirate teammate Tyone. So Tyone in the previous game getting his 10th win of the season, and Cole with 9. So it's just good to see those two get on pace to possibly, have a shot at being 20-game winners by the end of the year. But again, still a way to go there. And so now the Yankees had taken 2 out of 3 from the Red Sox and kind of exercised little demons a little bit. Just good to see to beat Boston after splitting the 2-2 games in Fenway, and also just get off this little rut they've been in the whole week. Just in some of these extra inning games where they just can't get that big hit, big wild ball. The offense completely just breaking out in the final 2 games. And the game 2 is 14-1, and then the finale 13-2 for the Yankees. So if you look at those 2 games, let's do a little math here. 27-3 drubbing of the Red Sox in those last 2 games, and they really should have won that first game. Just goes to the 9th. And the bottom 10th inning, had runners on there and just needed just a single or sacrifice fly. Something could have won the game for them. So this is good to see the Yankee offense wake up to that. And now that they're heading into the All-Star break, you always want to be on a winning note there, so you can feel good about yourself for a couple of games. Now the home run derby is going to be Monday. Now it was up in the air a little bit whether Giancarlo Stanton would participate or not. Now the festivities are going to take place in Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles, and of course, Stanton is a native Californian, so is Judge actually. Now, Judge early on said, no way, I'm not going to participate in that. We knew that early on. Stanton was kind of floating around a little bit, but then finally said he's not going to participate in it, so he won't be there. And then, of course, the game itself, the Yankees sending 6 All-Stars, will be Tuesday, so we'll see. And then, of course, it's for home field, for which, team, once we get to the World Series. And so hopefully the game's going to be meaningful for those Yankee players in there. And let's look at some of these, numbers for the Yankees. Pretty impressive. 92 games in, they're 64-28. And I believe they put up a stat I saw the other day. If you want to look at past history, through 90 games, every single Yankee team that had at least reached 62 wins within 90 games, they've all gone on to win the World Series. And that's where this Yankee team is. So doesn't guarantee anything, but you like the numbers there. Again, baseball is just a game of numbers and crunching it. And they're, we said now at the break, 13 games over Tampa Bay. So Tampa's in second place there. Boston kind of fell down the standings a little bit. So pretty relatively comfortable lead there for the Yankees. And it's looking at Aaron Judge. It's very impressive. 33 home runs, 70 RBIs. And the Yankees have 70 more games to go. I kind of gave this rant, about a week or two ago. I don't think Judge is going to have a shot at 61 home runs, nor do I think he should go for it. He'll probably end up somewhere in the 50s, and you're probably looking at about 120, maybe 130 RBIs there. Again, I don't think a situation where he's going to be able to chase Barry Bonds. So I think a lot of, we get towards the end there, you're going to see Judge get a lot of rest. And just look at the way he is now, again, complaining about, lower body fatigue and so forth and some lower body injuries. So he's going to need the rest in September. That's probably what's going to happen with him. Now, when the Yankees do come back on the 21st to kind of get right back into the fire, going to host on a doubleheader the Houston Astros. And again, those are part of the games that were rescheduled that were missed because of the lockout in April. And they played one of those games in Houston during the long road trip about a week ago. So they lost that game with Sevy out. Again, he pulled himself out of that second Reds game. He's definitely going to be shut down and definitely not going to throw it all for 2 weeks. And now they're projecting he'll be back by August, which means you probably won't see him until early September. So it's just good timing that Domingo Germán, who we've been waiting for, rehabbing back with the shoulder there, probably you can slot him right in to Sevy's spot as a starter there, and kind of just the perfect timing there. We'll see how that goes. And Germán, he's been missing some time for a while, so just good to see him come back. Again, we've seen him be like a 20-game winner for the Yankees, back in 2018. So, the stuff is there. So that's only a couple of years removed. So hopefully he still has the velocity now, maybe could pitch more, picked up a little wisdom over the years for the Yankees there. And you're hearing all sorts of rumors about Juan Soto. Supposedly turned down like $440 million from the Washington Nationals. So if he's turning that down, I don't know what type of deal he's looking for. People say the Yankees may go after him, the Mets go after him. Those talks might start up soon. I don't see the Yankees making a play for him. Obviously, there would be tremendous if we do, but you're talking about re-signing Judge or not. Well, this guy wants way more money than Judge is going to want, and it's going to be like a 15-year commitment, probably more than that, which I don't think the Yankees are going to do. So I don't think the Yankees are going to kick the tires on Soto there, but we'll see what happens. Maybe the Mets will, just because Stevie Cohen just wants to go bonkers there, go crazy. They got Scherzer back, and they're trying to get DeGrom back eventually, and maybe adding Soto there a little bit. Will be a big shot in the arm. But nevertheless, now we're into the All-Star break, so I might do a little story time there. I've been lagging that a little bit, so maybe go back to story time just for one of those days that they're not playing, or just day before the All-Star game. So we'll come back soon, and if you haven't done it already, I keep reminding you, make sure to check out the podcast, subscribe to it, Section 420 Talkin Yankees, and get updated. So we'll catch you soon around the corner. Enjoy the All-Star break.